boom. Boom, 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 boom. My goodness gracious. I do believe it might be working. That's the theory. In theory, we're working. We're going out to the wide world. People can hear me. Maybe. Again, that is the theory. I'm hoping that's the case. Let's do the switch over here, and we'll find out if, in fact, let's see, audio mixer, is it still show going through? Yeah, that show's good. And so now I get rid of this, and I say, hi, everybody. Welcome to the live taping of Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. Hope you're having a lovely and wonderful day. And in theory, I think I'm working. I think it's working. Let me go check. And I also think I got the chat room working, which is amazing. So I got the chat room working. So if you guys could do me a favor and throw me something in the chat so I can rest assured that this is actually functioning, because it looks like it's stopped working. I think it might just be delayed. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe what I'm seeing is a horrible delay. I do believe it might be working. But yeah, that's the theory. Who knows? Who knows how it works? So great. All right. So I'm good there. Sorry. If you missed my live show yesterday, I did things terribly wrong. It's been 6 weeks since I've been on a between-season break, and so, sorry. Getting my sea legs back underneath me, if you will, and it appears to be working up there. Through the live, yes, I can still hear myself. Great. Lovely. All right, and I have the chat window open, so Matt says, woo, which means he can hear me and great and see me and all that kind of stuff. Wonderful. Fine. I'm going to hide this stuff so I don't have to have it in front of my face the entire time. Move this over here. All right. We are going. As I said, hi, welcome. Live taping of Podcast Pontifications. If it's your first time watching, welcome. Hi. This is not the real show. The actual episode content won't begin for another few minutes. This is me, as I said previously, just getting things ready to go, saying hi to the handful of people who like to watch me do this thing live. And in fact, you don't even have to watch me do this live if you don't wish, because a fully edited version of this will be available at podcastpontifications.com by 10 o'clock in the morning, Phoenix time. That's a little under 3 hours from now. It will be published on the website. It will be published to all of the podcasting platforms. And for those people who have subscribed to the newsletter, which is totally free, it's called Podcast Pontifications in your inbox, they will get a link, which I screwed up yesterday, a link to the audio file, the fully rewritten article, because the things I'm about to say are kind of a second pass of my brain. Pass number 1 was me putting the notes and the outline together. Pass number 2 will be me speaking those notes and outlines, and then pass number 3 is me rewriting everything so that it, reads well, because the way I talk and the way that I read are two different things. So, Riley-san, welcome, my friend from Brazil. Great to have you here as well. Thanks. As you can see, I have the chat working today. Yeah. I have that working, so yeah, whether you're looking at me, watching me on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, all those places you can watch me do this. It'll be there also. Oh, and one more place where you can get the episode when it's all said and done is the Advancing Podcasting community, advancingpodcasting.xyz. Thanks for your help on that, Matt. All better now. Okay, so today the topic of conversation is going to be, the title is How to Add Legs to Your Content with Podcasting. It's going to be about content repurposing and some trends I am seeing in the marketplace right now, and some things we should take advantage of, because that's what we talk about here. So, right. All right. I think the cobwebs are clear. One more slurpy slurp of the ginger tea. There's another screw up I did yesterday. As I was drinking mate first thing in the morning. I'm not supposed to do that on my vocal folds, even though liquid doesn't go on your vocal folds unless you're aspirating, which you don't want to do. So this is back to my ginger tea. And that's not ginger tea, it's ginger tisane, because it's just a bag of ginger in hot water, which is quite lovely. Okay, I think I'm done rambling. I'm ready to record. So I'm going to hide the chat window because that's not helpful. I can't look at the chat window and do my job over here. So now where's QuickTime so I can do the recording? Okay, there's that recorder. Let's get this other control up here for the recording, and then the recording. And I'll do a pre-read of the cold open. For many, podcasting is an end goal, but many creators are using podcasting as a way to reach more people who prefer listening to podcasts by reformatting their previously created content. Something like that. Here we go. For many, podcasting is an end goal, but many creators are using podcasting as a way to reach more people who prefer listening to podcasts, by reformatting their previously created content. Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. Black Widow killed it at the box office last weekend. No big surprise there. It's a Marvel movie. But what is surprising is that it also killed it in streaming as a very expensive $30 add-on for Disney Plus subscribers, of which I am. And to add on to that surprise is the sheer number of illicit copies of Black Widow available as soon as it came out on various torrent servers. Basically, if you wanted to watch that movie, you could buy a ticket to your local theater. You could stream it for free, sorta, on your home, whether you paid for it or did not pay for it. And you could even download a copy. You could do all those things. And people did. To crazy degrees. As I mentioned, it's killing it in all of those places. Now, what's all this have to do with podcasting? Well, I draw your attention to something I noticed last week. And that is that Macmillan Publishing, big book publisher, what they're doing with their repurposed Stories from the Stars podcast feed. Macmillan is currently releasing full audiobook versions of some of their most popular titles on that feed. But they're doing it one chapter at a time in serialized podcast form. Now, if that sounds familiar to those of you who've known me for more than a decade, yeah, this is a familiar thing with new life once again. You see, back in the day, I helped, let's say a few hundred underpublished authors, we'll call them, do that same thing. Way back in 2005 when we got started, when we launched a company called Podiobooks.com, which is now folded into another company. But a few authors, like Scott Sigler and Cory Doctorow and Paul E. Cooley, they're still doing this same thing today, releasing the full version of their books in audio form, in podcast form, for the listeners. Macmillan is just the first, at least the first I can think of immediately, big publisher to adopt this model. Now, they're currently releasing 3 Body Problem, which is amazing. One of the best stories I've actually read a few years back. And yes, I am actually listening to the professionally produced audiobook in serialized form on that feed. Now, what these 2 examples, Black Widow's massive release, even though it was available in lots of different places, as well as what Macmillan is doing right now with their Stories from the Stars feed, what these 2 examples show us is basically a drum I've been beating for years now, and it's this. The container often matters as much as the content. People will naturally gravitate towards the container that fits their needs best at that time. They may also, and oftentimes will also, select another container, a container that contains the same content at a different time when their needs change. People my age remember watching movies they'd already watched in the theaters when those movies were shown on TV, broadcast TV, and we'd sit through the commercials and we'd deal with the edited for TV changes they made. We listen to audiobooks we've already read in print book form. We'll watch stage, movie, and I guess television series adaptations of content we've already consumed, partly because we love the content, but also partly because we want to see, in some cases hear, someone else's take on that same content as they put it in a new container. And digital containers It's been proven time and time again, and Black Widow just proved it this last weekend, aren't cannibalistic to other forms of content. So here's what that means to you, podcaster, that has more than just a podcast. Put your courses online. Do a video series where you walk people through the exact same content that you have in another form, but you do it with a video. Or make a podcast version of that. Same thing, except now it's not requiring the visual element and works in the podcast form which you know how to create. Beyond that, record versions of you doing your podcast for things like TikTok and YouTube and live videos. Do whatever you can do, whatever you're able to do, to get and let your content spread as wide as you possibly can. Because you're much more than just a podcaster, if you want to be. The rationale for just doing the podcasting thing, but I think what we're seeing is a growing trend, because it's been 17 years or 20 years, depending on how you count, a growing trend of using podcasting as a vehicle, but not the only vehicle. Now, I'd love to get some more examples of podcasted, repurposed content. So come on over to the Advancing Podcasting Community. advancingpodcasting.xyz, and share any that you might know of. And if you love the content I had to say, please go to buymeacoffee.com/evoterra. I shall be back tomorrow with yet another podcast, Pontifications. Cheers! Stop recording there. Stop recording there. I did the stopping of the recording. Whew, a little bit of the throat clear in the middle of that, but that's okay. I will go back and I will fix it. Because what I do. Right, okay. So, thanks for watching all of that and listening. If you are just now joining me, remember, this was the live taping, so you can back up and watch the whole thing if you want, or wait. In about 2 hours and 49 minutes, I will have the version of this done. The audio will be up. The article will be written. And everybody who is subscribed on the podcast Pontifications in your inbox service, and that's free, will get both of those things automatically. And if you're on podcasting, you know how this whole thing works, right? You're a creator. I don't have to tell you that. But again, podcastpontifications.com. Highly recommend you going to and getting on the email list if you are not already. Beautiful. So that's it. Have a lovely rest of your day, everyone. I hope you do. Thanks for hanging out and watching me, Rod. And thanks for Matt. Anybody else that's there that didn't say hi, that's cool. I appreciate it. Yeah. I have the granddaughter again today. That's fun. So I will not be getting much productivity work done until late at night, which is what I did last night. But such is life. It's just life. This is why we came back to America, so as my wife reminds me all the time. We're here to help. All right, gang, that's it. Have a lovely rest of your day. See you tomorrow. Bye.